workshop, tools in hand, balsa wood, we make a stand, carving dreams from days gone by, stunt hanger planes that touch the sky, control lines tight, the engine hums, crafting art where passion drums, stunt hanger, flying high, old world craft beneath the sky, balsa wings we build with care, stunt hanger, join us there.
Well, good morning. Good Sunday morning. Let me move this over so I'm centered up. Okay, what we're going to do today, the Z-epoxy dried on the fuselage, and I gave it a quick sanding. We're going to go ahead and fiberglass the nose, and if it dries relatively quick, we'll put some superfill on it. And then we're going to have to wait a few hours, and come about 2 or 3 o'clock, it'll be dry enough to sand, and we'll go for that. So let's get right to it. Hello, everybody. I see that there's some chat out there. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for the likes. All right. Now, normally I don't fiberglass the plywood, but I'm going to this time. I want this profile. I'm trying to build this profile so I don't have to build another one. Yeah, I have a 46 size profile, but I want a 60 size profile. So we're trying to make it last. So I've cut this to the approximate right shape. You know what? Let's do the other side first. This, so I don't have to wait. We don't want to wait. Was working on stunt hanger this morning, trying to streamline things. There should be less ads on there now. I found my sticks, by the way. They were sitting on top of the heater. What a good eye. What a good eye. If you remember yesterday, I was hunting all over for the jar of sticks. Looks like I might need to buy some more before I run out. So Z-epoxy is pretty easy. There's no goofy formula where you gotta mix by weight or volume or whatever. You just 50-50. You know, I don't think that's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough. What happened to the little top? Oh, shit. Already lost the top. That's all I fly is control line. I don't fly RC, but they're all the same. Doesn't mean I couldn't build an RC airplane because they're, like I say, they're exactly the same. There we go. There's the top. Thank you. This will be my Brodak entry, I'm sure. And depending whether they raise the fees at the Nats, I'll be flying it at the Nats. But if they raise the fees at the Nats, I won't be there. I cannot afford, really can't afford this hobby much anymore. Ain't no big deal for the guys who plan their life well, but I didn't plan my life very good. Especially running stun hanger. Oh. Yeah, I hate to come on these streams like this because I'm halfway down already. You know what? I need to get that vise so I can hold this thing straight up and down. Let's see. What did I do with that vise? I think I might have left it in the garage. I might have left her in the garage. I bet I did. I got a drill press vise I could have used. I think I left it in the garage when I drilled out that dowel. I'm going to have to bring the drill press back in here. You know, I was going to try to make some videos doing cabinetry and different little projects, you know, where I build vanity tables and stuff out of cheap wood, pallet wood and 2x4s. But there's enough of those channels on there, I can't compete with them guys. I built some nice stuff out of pickets, fence pickets. Let's see here. We might have another. We might have another problem with stun hanger tonight due to a backup. Can't get the fucking thing shut off. Okay, let's grab some blades. It's all the same. If you can build a cabinet, you can build a nice airplane. Attention to detail. The sanding is a lot easier on this because the wood's softer. This will get the superfill in it right here to transition this wood, glass to wood. Oh man, try this. You. There we go. Now, if you wait till that fiberglass dries, that stuff cuts real easy. But when it's wet, it don't cut worth a shit. But as you know, we can't wait for it to dry on a live stream. I guess my buddy Ted died. I haven't heard from him in so long. I can't get a hold of him. His phone's disconnected. He was a cabinet builder and good airplane builder too. So what I normally do with this fiberglass, it's on there. This is a 3/4 ounce cloth. Is I get a thin layer on there, thin as possible. Let it dry, sand it, and then coat it with another layer. Not on my stunt ships. I only do one layer, one coat of fiberglass or resin because I'm using dope and tissue. But this also gets tissued over. I went. I'm retired, but I had to go back to work. I'm a motorcycle mechanic, Harley Davidson. Of course, I'm not working like I used to. When I started this, I was working at Harley Davidson. When I started the stunt hanger, when I could afford it. And the nickname is a different story. I ain't telling you. I just put it this way. I got it from the motorcycle club. You know what? I'm not going to be able to put the inside on in this setting. Oh well. Oh well. Stupid hairs. Harbor Freight brushes. Total crap. China! Gotta go China. Okay. So let's cut that off and see what happens. See, I'd like my drill press vise so I could set it up like that so I can cut this, but don't look like that's going to happen. Unlike that AMA movie of the guy fiberglassing, mine looks perfect. I don't know why they got him teaching fiberglassing on that video. Okay, that's what you want right there. I mean, it disappears. Now, I'm going to have to wait till this dries to cut this off. And then we're going to put another piece on this side. Normally I could do both sides, but I can't find my vise, and I'm just not going to mess with it. So, of course, that must be Bud. Yep. Hey, Bud. Well, I'm online right now. We kind of need to look at the backups and make sure that I noticed they were at 63%. No, they don't get made till tonight. Wednesdays and Fridays. Okay, so right. Do you have WHM credentials? I will send those to you via text message on Stun Hanger. Yeah, but you can't use WHM from there. Oh, you can. Okay, because I give you the server number, the server IP, and a root password. No, no, it's not. Okay, well, I noticed you're talking about Cloudflare. Hey, hang on, guys. Hold on just a second, Bud. I'm on the phone with Bud. We're trying to straighten out a problem with Stun Hanger. Give me a minute. Okay. Now, I noticed that you said something about Cloudflare and the DNS servers. Okay. Well, right. Okay. Is that good or bad? Okay. So you got the Cloudflare passwords? Okay. So what do you need from me? You need Bluehost again. Okay. When I'm done with this video, I'm kind of elbow deep in fiberglass right now. Now I want to set up FileZilla so I can host my backups here. So we'll get that done today or tomorrow, or today's Monday or Sunday, right? And you work tomorrow. Right. Right. Okay. let's do this in 2 hours. It's 12, would be 12 o'clock. Okay. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. You guys got no idea what a pain in the ass that stun hanger is. And get those support tickets in for stun hanger as soon as possible, because I got to have the money at the end of the year, and it's coming up quickly. You know, when I started stun hanger, it was $6 a month, $6.95 a month, unlimited, and I paid that. You know, big deal, $6 a month. I paid it for a year at a time, no charge to anybody, and unlimited got to be so big. They said, "Well, we can't. You have to buy a shared host." So I bought a shared host. We got so big for a shared host. Said, "No, you got to have a dedicated, or no, a VPN. No, not a VPN, private network or whatever, VPS." Okay, great. Got so big for that, we had to have a dedicated server. It went from $6.95 a month to $3,000 a year. No wonder why Leonard quit. And I can't compete with Facebook because I got all the knuckleheads giving their info for free, figuring that they're getting the service for free, and they ain't. Okay, so we're done with this for right now. And I guess I could put some dope on the elevator stabilizer here. My hosting company was in Ogden, Utah when I started, and they've since sold it to somebody in the Philippines, and they have just raked us over the coals. Okay. I couldn't find my other brush. It's oiled somewhere in the shop here, but I don't know where I put it, so I have to break out another one-stroke brush. We'll get some dope on this elevator stabilizer and start getting to cover this while we're waiting for that shit to cure. Might go out in the garage, use the table saw today so we can build our drop jig. And yes, what is a drop jig? Well, it's a piece of 1/8-inch wire that has 2 points on it. And you heat up one piece of wire red hot and you drop it down through the foam core, and it has to hit the other point on the other end. And you ask, well, what is that for? Well, in order to core a foam core wing out and get the hot wire through, you got to have a hole. So you got to have a hole. This one don't hold as much paint as the other one did. Not as much paint. Yeah. Yes. Do I reuse my paintbrushes? Well, seeing that each paintbrush costs $30, you're darn right I do. These are sign painters paintbrushes. How do I clean them? Well, first you clean everything out with lacquer thinner. Then you clean the lacquer thinner out with mineral spirits. Then I put, let me see if I got the bottle handy here. I put brush oil in them. Kafka brush oil. I don't know what happened to it. To keep the bristles pliable. But yeah, you're damn right. I clean them out. I take way better care of my brushes than I do my paint guns. Paint guns can be bought from Harbor Freight for anywhere between $9 and $30. But brushes are a different story, and it's hard to get good brushes. I mean, the other one was a Mac 1-inch one-stroke brush. This one here is a Dick Blick Golden Tacklin. I'm not sure what it costs. Probably $20. But if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know I dabble in sign painting. I can show you the core when I get done here. It's not covered. I'm thinking about using alternative covering materials such as brown craft paper. This is a big airplane, 740 square inches for a profile. It's big. It's the same size as my June RXL wing. 11.5-inch root cord. I think it's a 9.5 or maybe 10-inch tip cord. This one will not have a tapered trailing edge. It'll be straight. $10 o'clock. I wonder if she got up. I didn't hear any rooting around down there. Okay, I gotta check and see if my old lady got up. She's going to Fredericktown today. Hang on just a second. Hey, did you get up?
I'm up, I'm dressed.
Okay, well, I didn't hear you. I am painting clear dope on that. Okay, this is the wing, one half of the wing, no flaps. This is the outboard wing. No, this is the inboard wing, top left. Top left inboard. So then it gets a 2.5-inch flap at the root, and it tapers up. Nope, you got cut them. Hot wire. Anybody been following this channel long enough? I mean, obviously you haven't been around as long as to catch up on everything that I make here. We show how to hot wire and make the wings, make the cores. I make the carbon fiber fuel tanks. They're all shown on this channel. We make the propellers, the bell cranks. All the parts that one normally buys. Shit, I even showed how to make teeth. Not to say that everyone should make their own teeth, but I did it, and it's on the channel. You can find it. It's been back about 4 years ago. The way that I see it is everything that I have no money. So I have to be able, if I want it, I have to be able to make it. And that was the reason behind starting in control line stunts 65 years ago. I asked a guy named Bill Noyes, hey, where do you buy those airplanes? You can't buy them, you got to make them. And they were beautiful back then. And back then, nobody would tell you how to do anything. Nothing. You couldn't figure out what they were using on the finish, or you had to ask piecemeal it here or there or whatever. And I said, you know what? I'm where I'm at. I had my job at Harley Davidson. I had extra money, and I'm never going to be a world champion, maybe not even a national champion, because I just don't have the time to practice, nor do I have the inkling to go sit out there at the field for hours and hours and hours in the hot sun. So instead of everybody trying to figure out how to do this, why don't I start a channel and show them how to do it? Because this is the show me state. And so many people in the Stuka stunt days were talking crap that didn't know nothing. You can't do that. Well, shit, I've been doing it that way for, at that time, probably 45 or 50 years. You can't do that. Well, it's just like Al Ray. Him and I started off on a bad note. I said, Al, send me a set of your plans. I want to build your Bearcat. You couldn't build that airplane. Okay, Al. Because it takes him a year or two to build one. I can build one in, if I get after it, 2 weeks. But we finally ended up on a good note before he passed away. But people used to tell me, you can't do that. 2004 World Championships. I went to Muncie and watched Billy fly his Thunderbolt. There were no plans at the time for that airplane. Zero, none. I brought out the dressmaker's tape. I started taking measurements, pictures. I took 1 million pictures, and even Hunt said, what are you going to do there? I said, I'm going to build a couple of these. I built 3 of them that season. Everybody just has that, you can't do that. Okay, whatever. I just go, yeah, it looks about right. Like I did a Machika Stoli. I took it off the internet. It took a profile off the internet. and the profile was 100% scale for a stunt plane. Now the wing locations and the wing sizes were not right, but just eyeball it up. Yep, looks about right. Boom, you got one. So anything you want to do, you can do, and you just got to have the determination to do it. I watch all these guys on YouTube. Like I've never electroplated, but I know I can do it. There's plenty of YouTube channels that show how to do it. All you got to do is go buy it. Go buy the the stuff to do it. Nickel and all that. You can even do chrome if you want to do transfer chroming. And if I ever need to do that because I can't afford it, I'll do it. You just got to have the desire to do something. That's all it takes is the desire. If you look back on my channel, I painted signs. I still got them saws. If a guy ever comes to the Nats, it's a tattoo artist, I'll give him that one sign. Have you guys? Man, I got all kind of stuff that I've done. Matter of fact, my old lady yesterday was saying you have such a vast skill set. I can weld, I can heliarc, machine, whatever I got to do, I can do. If I wanted to be a brain surgeon, I could do it. That's what I should have been instead of a mechanic. And that kind of pisses me off because the surgeons are just practicing, but mechanics better know what they're doing. And they make a whole lot more than I do. And they're just practicing their stuff. Got into the wrong field. I'm kind of doing this out of order here. I don't have the horn clips in this, but it won't matter. After these are dry, we'll build a horn clip and put it together. You can't set it down anywhere. See, I need to turn that down a little bit more. Now, all my stuff looks pretty good, and it looks good in person too. I mean, don't get me wrong, because I have won the concourse at the Nats, and that's no easy feat. However, it's taken 60 years to get here. It's not something you can do overnight. I mean, I make it look easy when I'm sanding or whatever. It's muscle memory. And then don't settle for less than perfect. I know that sounds kind of weird, but my dad said, I won't cuss, but he used to say, it's got to be perfect. Yeah, right. Used to drive my mother crazy. Perfect. And he got to be perfect. It's close enough. Well, I noticed that they have a thread on practice, and practice makes perfect. But if you're making mistakes, it makes perfect mistakes. And that's why I show you how I achieve what I get. Are there mistakes? Yes, I make all kinds of mistakes. But if you watch my channel long enough, you'll see that, oh, I made a mistake. Within 2 seconds, I have figured out how to fix that mistake. And if you think you made every mistake in the book, you haven't built enough airplanes. There's mistakes that I haven't made yet. but I'm sure that I'll make them and be able to fix them. The biggest bonehead mistake that I made on this channel live was when I was in Dayton building airplanes in the closet, as I call it, under low light, not paying attention. I cut the stab on the wrong side of the fuselage. I put it on the bottom. And my friend caught it and called me on the phone, and I went, oh, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. And sure enough, I did. And within 2 seconds, it was fixed. I mean, I knew how to fix it. Go back and look at the, what airplane was that? That was the Dr. Pepper airplane. The Mother Tucker. But anyway, I show the mistakes because it's live. Nobody's perfect, but those people who think they know everything are particularly aggravating those of us who do. Now, I show the mistakes because, like he just said, everybody makes them, and I make lots of them. But it's to know how to get out, how to fix that mistake that makes you a better modeler, because you're going to make mistakes. But the guys who do edited videos makes it look like they don't make mistakes. I'll guarantee you, because I can see mistakes on the videos even. To the average guy, they wouldn't see them, but I got no problem people know when I make mistakes, because I make plenty of them. Okay, we got a minute or so to wait for the dope to dry on that. We'll get 2 coats on this, and we'll check this. I'll check the resin. Now, no, things that can go wrong will go wrong. That's for sure. Kevin Butler. How long you been on the channel, Kevin? And I take it you're an RC flyer. Maybe a month. Am I right? Are you an RC flyer? A lot of guys don't join to become members or, want to support me because this is control line. They figure, well, this is kid stuff, baby stuff. Well, these airplanes are more sophisticated than an RC airplane for the simple fact they're design specific. Now, let me give you the example. As long as an RC airplane is relatively close, within the ballpark, the RC guy can take off and fly it, and they got trim tabs, and they can trim it, and as they're flying, it's kind of like tuning a go-kart as you're going down the track. This here is setting up a sprint car to turn left. And if you know anything about sprint cars, which I used to do 40 years ago, it's pretty hard to put the stagger and the wedge to get it right for the grip of the track. If you're loose, you're fast. If it's tight, so you're always in a cut. I ran speedway motorcycles too. They're so bad that the handlebars are different length. You're always in a crossed up position. So they're tuned specifically for going left. And while they're going left, you got gyroscopic precession and different P factors and the moments and all. It's I don't know. It's a whole lot. It's just a different world than RC. But RC, you're at least 10 mistakes away from the ground. Control line, you're a millisecond from the ground. So keep that in mind too. But the airplanes are basically the same setup, except ours are set up to go left with asymmetry and unrealistic numbers. But flight is all the same. It's all it doesn't matter. The laws of physics it don't matter. Okay, what do we got here? Let's find the paper. This is 400. Yeah, this is 400. We'll just lightly scuff it. Maybe 320 would be better. Because it's fresh paint, it won't load the. Well, Tim Just, who was a full-size aerobatic pilot and an RC pilot, new to control line, made top 20 this year, so no reason why you can't do it if you understand it. But I got into control line airplanes just for the simple fact of what I'm doing here, the building part, because all the RC airplanes were buy and fly. Even the pylon racers, which I used to go down to Whittier and watch them ultimate pylons with the torpedo 40s and they look like busters and shoestrings and stuff like that back in the 60s. They were neat. This is not a model airplane story, but it's a model airplane park story. Went to Whittier Narrows. One of my friends, I think it was Rob, we got done flying. He said, "You want to go ride horses?" I didn't know nothing about horses. I said, "I guess, whatever, let's go there." So we went down in the San Gabriel Wash. They got a horse rental place where you can rent a horse and ride. And we rode out to the end of the trail and made that turn to come back to the barn. That horse took off at a full bolt. I could not get him stopped. He wanted to go home. I got in trouble for lathering him up. I said, I had no control on this dog. He just went crazy. He wanted to go home and eat. Can't remember I think it was Garvey that park is on. Garvey. Where is it? Pasadena. No, it's not Pasadena Boulevard. Rosemead. Can't remember, but I haven't been there in 50-some years. Let's see what they're saying here. Well, there's another. I have in my arsenal right now, and I've either given away or sold a lot of airplanes. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 9 airplanes in the quiver right now. This will be 10 again, and I'll have to. No, there's 11 up there. There's one hanging over there. Oh, forgot there's one on the other side of the wall. 12. I got a dozen airplanes I could fly. So you got 12 arrows in the quiver. And they all have a lifespan, an expected lifespan. You don't know when it's going to go. You just have to be willing to accept it. Yep. Look what I did. And then the next flight, it's trash. And they all got a life expectancy. So that's just the way it goes. Now this will all get covered with tissue. And believe it or not, these ain't cheap. A good stunt plane, this is not including man hours, time to build it. You'll have invested anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000. You count the sandpaper, the dope, the covering, the wood, the carbon, the glass. I mean, price of this shit just went $25 for that. So, like I say, anywhere between $1,000. If I sell you an airplane for $1,000, you couldn't build it for $1,000. And I've sold lots of airplanes. Of course, I've given away a few too. I got 13 airplanes if you count the one I gave to Joe. It's in his hangar, but they all have a lifespan. And ain't nothing you can do about it. My last big profile that I built, I hit the ground in Huntersville because I was an idiot and didn't tighten up the bolt on the line slider on the control horn. I think I was doing 8. So I went like that, and I come around, and I come out the top, and it just kept going right into the ground. And I was giving it full up. I completed the maneuver, and it went on circle 2, on the left circle. Maybe that's circle 1, closest to the road. The one that has the carrier jump in it. It just went, stick. And the thing that I hated about it, not so much that I lost the airplane, is I lost the engine. A Brian Gardner 60, just like this one here. Broke the case, bent the crank. However, I did take the liner out of it. And I have I think I got about 10 60s up there. Whenever I can get I buy parts, the guy has a case, a Super Tiger 60 case, the engine's worn out. that doesn't have the ear holes, the motor lugs ogled out, and it has the muffler lugs, I'll buy it. I'll pay anywhere between 50 and 75 bucks and rebuild it, put new Boca bearings in it, polish the crank, put a new Brian Gardner liner in. You got about a $300 engine here. And I think I like them every bit as good as a PA 60 or 65. Then I got this jet here. This jet engine might see service in this airplane. This is a Rojet 65 side exhaust. And I bought this at Brodak in an airplane. And I think I gave the airplane away, or if I sold the airplane, I sold it for 50 bucks or whatever. But I bought it just for the engine and the propeller. So, and it's got one of them high Zoot Bali $50 3 blades on it. So we might, like I say, it might see service in this airplane, but I really like the 60s and how they run, the way they're timed. I like that old style. No, ain't quite set up yet. Well, maybe. Be just a few more minutes and we'll be able to cut that off and I'll be able to do the other side. Yeah, whatever. I built 5 purpose-built electric airplanes. Okay, here's what happened to me in electric. If you go back on the channel, I built some Crossfires and I flew electric at the Nats one year. I still got a couple. No, I don't have those anymore. Don't know what I did with them. But I bought those $100 batteries, and the good charger and all that stuff. I basically sold off all my PAs. I think I had about 15 PAs, and I turned everything into electric. Well, when I couldn't get the airplane to quit hunting, which they all do, and you'll have guys, oh, they don't. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, they are. And kind of got discouraged with the brick feeling in the nose. I went back to fuel. I tried electric. I gave it an honest try. And I'll do it again when I can see an advantage. But as it stands right now, I don't see the advantage. Doug Moon has an airplane with a PA 65 in it on a Frank Williams full wave tuned pipe. And there's no way the electric has more power than that. No way. That airplane is impressive. But electrics have their place. A lot of guys like them, just not for me. As soon as I can see the improvement that I'm looking for in the battery, I'll give them another try. But the battery feels like a brick in the nose, and I hate that feeling. The concentrated weight. A lot of guys are doing good with them, so knock yourself out. I knew that full wave pipe would work. Frank and I would always, because I did motorcycles, and there's a 2-stroke tuner's guide to tell you how to make a pipe, and a tuned pipe is 1 RPM specific. And I have never heard anybody talk about this. You know, the big guys, Hunt and Walker and all that. How can you tell if you have enough power? Well, the most demanding maneuver I've heard people say is the hourglass. No, it's not. It's the square eights. That's where you're draining off all your momentum. You come around, you do your first turn, then your second turn, and third turn. By the time you get to the last turn, as you're finishing the square eight, you're out of momentum because you're changing direction so quickly. When an airplane can make that last turn on top, the very last turn, and when it levels out, charge, you know you got enough power. And that's what Doug Moon's airplane will do. It does not lose any momentum. When it gets to the last turn, when it's out of smoke, boom, it goes right straight across. But he's running it way up on the pipe. I mean, he's turning a gazillion RPM with no pitch, you know. When I launched that thing in Tulsa, and he fired that thing up, about jumped out of my hands. There was so much thrust. I thought my Thunderbolt with a 15.45 prop on it, PA 75 had thrust, but that one of Doug's is unreal. See that? That's one of the reasons why I ran the 75 and the Thunderbolt. You only gave up an ounce, but you had twice the power. And if you go look at Paul Taylor's channel, you can see the Thunderbolt I'm talking about. That's Thunderbolt 3. Wendy did a video of it. And he took a video of it flying. I didn't fly very good that year, but Mark was helping me. Mark let it go. There's the tail of it right there. When I hit the ground with that one in Memphis, that was a sad day. All because I couldn't let John Simpson beat me by a half a point. Put the nitro to it, didn't have the fuel to finish the pattern, got to the 4-leaf, run out of gas on the upstroke, and that was all she wrote. My mistake for figuring I could make it. I won the Concourse Trophy. That was 2007 that happened. But came home with a battered airplane. I would have much rather kept the airplane and left the trophy. Now, John Simpson will surprise you. Half a point. Tommy Looper, if you're watching, hello, buddy. Another good builder. I need to get him to carve me one last pilot before he dies. This guy can carve pilots. Woo-wee. They are the coolest. I ought to call him up. See if I can get him to carve me one. He only done one for me. Now this is a built-up stabilizer. It's within weight spec. It's 3 ounces for the elevator stabilizer and hinges and horns. Everything basically has a set weight, well, weights that I know that I can get away with. So this is 3 ounces. This is going to be a 60-ounce profile, but it's big. It's, you know, it's 740 squared. What are you going to do? Or even a sanding sealer. Pipe dope and what? So what's the difference between let's see, I didn't pay attention to these. Let me go back and read these videos. Read these. All the vids I've seen have been gas. Okay, that must be good. Oh, gas. I don't do electric anymore. So what's it between the pipe dope and polyurethane? Well, this is not pipe dope or even sanding sealer. Okay, let's explain the difference in paints. Pipe dope is white. It's I don't know what it's made out of, but it's made out of mush. Clear dope is nitrocellulose. So if you take 50 millimeter film and you put it into a jar and you pour acetone in it, you get dope. That's something that was done in the 30s, maybe even the 20s, as a glue. It's glue. Dope is not paint; it's a glue, and it's for attaching covering to full-size aircraft. So you got butyrate dope, which is semi-fuel proof, which I use 100%. I don't use any nitrate. Nitrate is more of a glue to glue fabric to metal. So if you got a metal airframe and you want to put fabric on it, or a metal airframe you want fabric on it, you got to cover it with nitrate because it bonds to the metal. Actually, it should be self-etching primer or a zinc chromate primer, and then put the nitrate on that, then put the fabric on it. But you top coat it in butyrate. So now we know what the dope is. What is enamel? No, enamel. Enamel is plastic. So is urethane. Urethane is plastic. So whatever you spray on stays on. There's no vehicle that evaporates off. There's a chemical reaction with dope, meaning the hot thinners, the MEKs, which used to be in Aerogloss, and the lacquer thinners. Those all gas off. So whatever if you take, like this was filled to here, and I filled it to there with thinner. And in reality, what's going to be left on the airplane is 25% of 25%. So the vehicle in this is a bonding agent, and the reducer is the thinner, and it goes everywhere. So if you use reducer with urethane, yeah, it kind of it doesn't evaporate very good. But all reducer does is reduce the consistency, the centipoids down so you can spray that through the paint gun. What lacquer thinner does is it thins the paint. It's a chemical equation. I'm not a chemist, so I can't explain it. I know what it does, but I can't explain it. Now, polyurethane is 100% different. It is a DuPont, a DuPont mistake. That's a chemical reaction that made that stuff. So there's a big difference between urethane, polyurethane, enamels, and lacquers. Dope is a lacquer base, but it's not paint, it's glue. So when you spray on the dope on your airplane, it's glue you're putting on there. It's not paint. When we had our hobby shop, the glue heads, the sniffers, used to come in and buy Revell glue and go back and get a bag and go back behind the hobby shop and sniff glue. Never could figure that out. Glue their last brain cell together. But that's why Revell glue went away, because it had toluene in it. High amounts of toluene. That's probably why Ambroid went away too. You know, you got these environmentalist people thinking so, like my dad said, don't eat the paint. Lead paint, whatever. I paint signs, and one-shot sign painters paint used to have lead in it, and that's why it was one shot. You could pull a line and it would cover because of the lead in the paint. Well, all the wackos said, well, we can't have lead. Whatever. You guys want to know, watch Landman. He gives a perfect drill. Billy Bob Thornton gives a perfect drill on petrol, on petroleum. It's in everything, and everybody's whining. Let's go electric. Let's use electric. Well, he talks about the windmills. They don't put out enough energy in 20 years to pay for themselves. It's the most expensive, wasteful system going. Windmills and solar. It's all crap. There's nothing more efficient than an internal combustion engine. I mean, the BTUs wise. Now you might power it with natural gas, which is not as efficient as gasoline. And everybody calls it fossil fuels. It's not fossil fuels. You can prove that by La Brea tar pits. If it was fossil fuels, why would the dinosaurs be stuck in their own goo? It's a mineral that's down in the, yeah, it's in everything. Lipstick, paper, plastic bags, my glasses, your iPhone, the mouse, your clothes, everything. And if they do away with fossil fuel, and yeah, we could, but you better have something to replace it. Otherwise, you're just, and there's nothing. I mean, God gave us the fuel in the ground to use. Let's use it. But you got these environmentalist wackos, and I understand clean air and all that other stuff. No sense in, you certainly don't want to pee in the stream and then drink it, but But anybody ever says that electric is more efficient than fuel doesn't know what they're talking about. Can't extract the BTUs out of a battery as you can a fuel cell. I can't remember what the numbers are, but if they ever go to electric trucks, we're screwed. Price of everything will jump so high it's ridiculous. Because the whole truck would be battery to get across the country, and you wouldn't have no room for product. So that means the cost of products would go up. Okay, we're gonna do a brush cleaning here. How I do it, no big deal. We're done painting today. I might have to go get some more acetone to put in that. A little over 1,000 left to go. About $1,200 left to go. Okay, so I kind of just blotted that brush off. You can go to Stun Hanger and click on the 26 support badge. Have you not been to the website? Stunhanger.com, and then get on the forum. I mean, I guess I could put that. I could do that here. Let me do that. Let me do that. So we go here. Let's get a direct link onto this. Refresh this. Come on. And refresh this. Come on, refresh. There we go. We go here. Copy. And go here. Now, StreamYard. We go here. Paste. I don't got these. Okay. There we go. That's where you can go to donate to the Stun Hanger Fund. This is our 20th year. In February, we'll be 20 years old. And it's only been in the last 7 that I haven't funded it. I mean, but I can't do it this year. I just don't have the money. Well, confusing to you, all you have to do is go register, use your real first and last name with a space in between, answer the questions, where's the AMA site, Muncie, And there might be one other thing just to know you're not a bot, and put your email in and you'll get right in. You know, it's not a big deal. I think I've got it set up back to where I have to approve you now because we had a little thing with that guy doing some funny business, but I'm going to turn that back off and you just get right in. So many people have tried to take me down, you can't believe it. But I've weathered the storm. Let's see. I wonder if I can do that. This might be dry enough to do that. If I can, then we'll do the other side. Get the other fiberglass on. If I can't, then I'll have to wait until it's time. Let's see if I can handle the stick. Okay. Okay. Well, I've shown you how to put fiberglass on. You guys think you can do it now? Not that big a deal. Not that big a deal. Unless you watch the AMA site and see how to do it wrong. I couldn't believe it watching that guy. His profile is probably overbuilt, but like I say, I want it to last. Okay, we got that side done. Now, can I do this side? Sticky. It's sticky everywhere. I have to wipe my hands off with acetone. I'll give you a close-up of this here in a second. I think the most useful videos that I've put out are the polyspan and soakspan videos. Because I haven't seen anybody do polyspan like I do. to get around wingtips and such. Kind of a blend between monocoat and silk span. Now let's just cut this right here. Perfect. And when I come back this evening, we'll be super filling and doping and maybe putting some paper on it. Okay, so now let's look at our work in 1.5 hours. We have sticky. We have a very nicely finished 1/2 of the nose, so it's going to take 3 hours to do this because I got to do the other side. You don't look at it how much time it takes when you're having fun. We're not going to worry about the hairies inside the wing opening because I'll sand that and sand those hairies off. And when I glue the wing in, it gets super filled in around there. This all gets super filled here, super filled there. Of course, it all gets sanded, and we'll sand it and coat it one more coat. And then I'll sand it and put silk span on it, and it'll be rock solid. I got to get some acetone. Acetone. Nope, this is lacquer thinner, but that'll work. You know, my dad was a World War II vet and a Depression survivor and all that. Superfill is this, the putty. A Depression survivor. And if you look right here, see how my finger is, my little finger and this finger are, looks like they're burnt and they're red. I don't know, you can, whether that shows up on camera or not. Well, I don't know what Stoddard solvent's made out of. I'm not sure if it, you know, it's petrochemical, but it's got to be the low end of thinner of something. And washing those, I had my rings on, and washing those parts in the parts washer, my fingers are, this finger, and this were just burning like arthritis or whatever, and I couldn't figure out what's going on. So I took my rings off and I go, shit, my fingers burnt to a crisp. You don't run to the doctor, you just take the ring off and don't do it again. Shit. That comes from my dad's generation. I kneeled down and I ripped my tendons in my knee. And I called my dad up and I said, hey, you ever had this happen? I said, no, I haven't had it happen. He said, well, what's the symptom? I said, well, when I bend down, it burns. He said, well, don't bend down. And guess what? It fixed itself. We were pretty much made to heal ourselves. That's just my outlook. Don't take medical advice from me. Because I'm the type of guy that glues myself together. Anybody remember Frank Carlisle? We were at, there's a lacquer thinner right there. Okay. Anybody remembers Frank Carlisle? We were at SIG, and I reached down into my toolbox and opened my hand up wide with a X-Acto blade that was down in the toolbox. Just really bad. It was bleeding everywhere. Well, within the limits of getting stitches, because you could the little worms were coming out of it. And it was probably 2 inches long. And I said, ah, shit, I don't want to leave the contest. I said, Frank, you got any CA? No, they got no CA. Nobody there had any CA, but SIG had a trailer by the hangar. And I ran up to the girl. She got CA in here? She said, yeah. I go, give me a bottle of it. And I was bleeding everywhere. I handed her a bloody $20 bill. She gave me the CA, and I said, Frank, come here. So I squished it together. I said, hit it with the CA. So he put the CA on it. Wouldn't stop bleeding. It just kept opening up. I said, you got any kicker in there? She said, yeah. I handed her some more money. She gave me the kicker. I said, okay, Frank, hit it with the CA. He put the CA on it. I go, okay, Frank, hit it with the kicker. Boy, did it burn and smell bad. Yeah. You know what? I don't even have a scar there. You can't even tell that was done. That's exactly what how they call it, cyanoacrylate was designed for. The 60s Vietnam wound repair. They just found that it glued wood together really good. And that BS of going to the doctor and said, we got to give you some sterile CA for $200 a bottle. That's the same shit that Bob Smith sells. Ain't no different. Just like we got a Harley in there right now that has a oil line leaking. It's an AN fitting braided steel line. That line, if I go to Wick's Aircraft and buy it, would probably be $200 for a line that long. Maybe more, maybe $250. Because it has the word aircraft in it. But if I buy that same line, it's got the same tubing on it with the same ends from the Hardy shop, $40. So they bend you over for nothing. Yeah. Well, there is a difference in Tylenols. They have Tylenol 4, which is codeine. You can't buy that over the counter. So, is there a difference? Slightly, but you'll spend $6 for a bottle of aspirin, where you get 40 or 50 tablets, and it's for $6. You'll spend $100 for one aspirin out of that bottle. Oh yeah. Oh, I got sidetracked here. I went over and got the thinner, but didn't add it. Use this thinner. Here. Matter of fact, let's use acetone. It's better. You know, I got a gallon of primer down there. It's the old lacquer primer. It's lead based. Weighs $15 a gallon or 15 pounds a gallon. So it's twice as heavy as water. And I read in or called and read that Sherman-Williams for DC 540 was using xylene as an additive in DC 540. Figure, okay, great. So I got a gallon of xylene. It's sitting over there. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll end up throwing it out. It ain't worth shit. I'll have to do some more research on what xylene is exactly used for, because it doesn't thin anything. It's not hot. It doesn't do shit. Okay, brush oil. You can use motor oil on your bristles. I would say Marble Mystery Oil would be better, but I use Kafka brush oil. Von Dutch used motor oil when he was cleaning his pinstriping brushes, and I'm going to go put this back in the box, but you want to fan it out like that and make a chisel and lay it in the box so that it's flat, not that it's bent so the bristles bend, because you'll train them to bend. You want to chisel it out and lay it flat, and that will keep your brushes a long time. I'll bring back some other brushes to show you. Now this box of brushes here is probably $400, maybe more. I'm not sure. Let me swap. These are sign painters brushes, quills. About 400 probably. But you see how long these are one stroke brushes, and I got quite a few more boxes of brushes. I'll show you the tattoo sign I was talking about. Okay, well, it's dusty. I did a couple of these on camera. You can go back, I think about the steam box time when I did the old time steam box. Fast tattoo removal. Zip. Let's see, I did this version. Here's another tattoo removal sign. Very similar. different saw size. Let me. So I got that one. They're just a little different. I did a buzz cuts for a barber shop, which really should have been on a 24-inch circular saw blade, but I did them on camera here. I'm not. I was a sign painter. God, that's got to be 50 years ago. I blew glass, neon glass tubes 50 years ago. I've had a lot of jobs and was proficient at all of them. That's what I meant by when I say my skill set is pretty vast. Welder. Okay. Yeah. Now this doesn't show my welding capabilities, but it shows you that I ain't bullshitting you. There's my helmet. Oh, there we are. Probably needs a battery. We find teeth making on this channel, and welding and sign painting and motorcycles, all kind of crap. Well, I was taught to blow glass by a Mexican guy, and I mean he was a Mexican guy. I worked for Imperial Valley Sign at the time, and that's before I worked for Negley Outdoor Advertising. And there was no sign painting going on in the shop at the time, and it was either that or make channel letters, which I ended up learning how to make, which I hate. Channel letters suck. But he showed me how to blow glass, and there is an art to it, to making a neon sign. To watch the video about making teeth. Yeah, I think I did 3 or 4 of them. It's pretty simple to do. Actually, it's model making. Here's this. Oh, the articulating jaws in here. First, you make a cast with alginate of your mouth, which these casts are 5 years old. This is an articulator, so that you can wax up the teeth. But this is the cast of my upper jaw, and this is the cast of my lower jaw. And you glue that on there. It's been sitting around for 5 years, so it's been knocked off. And then you put a wax on there, and you buy the teeth, and you build a wax model of your teeth. And around here, I got some casting. I don't know what you call them, flat casting flats. And you do a mold. You pour the acrylic You pour the acrylic into the mold and put it in the oven. And let me wipe these off here. And it burns the wax out of it and bonds to the teeth. And you get that. That's no big deal. I know it's probably pretty gross to show, but that's what I do. That's what I make. I mean, I don't even know what they call that job. It's not what I do for a living. It's just, if I want something, I just make it. Go figure out how to do it. And one thing that I got to say, if you're going to be a mechanic, all my tools are Snap-on. Everything I got is Snap-on. I have some junk tools hanging on the wall here, but at work, when I'm working on something, it's everything Snap-on. If you have the best tools, and it's like my cabinet stuff in the garage, it's, all top dollar, DeWalt, and I don't have Festool. I'm not going that crazy because I'm just a hobbyist. But the better the tools you have, the better the job you're going to get out of it. But you still have to kind of know how to use the tools. But if you want to make teeth, do just like I did. There's 400 or 500 videos on YouTube on how to do it. Watch somebody that knows what they're doing. Pick out the guy that you can follow. You can buy all the stuff off of eBay and Amazon. I mean, I got racks of teeth. I can't remember what I did with them because I just fixed a plate. The teeth are inexpensive. The material is really inexpensive. You might end up with $150, but out of that $150, you can make 5 sets of teeth. So $50 a set. Where the dentist is going to charge you $5,000 or maybe more, and they're not even the guys doing it. They got some guy in the garage making minimum wage making the teeth. So if somebody making $15 an hour or whatever can make them, I damn sure can make them. I might make a set out of carbon fiber just to say I did. These are not my idea. These are Wendy's idea. Matter of fact, these were Wendy molds. But I got them. I can do it. Somebody else can do it, so can I. You just got to want to do it bad enough. Well, that's about all the babbling that we're going to go for this round. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we'll do superfill and I think I'll probably do this side off camera. You guys can figure it out from there. From the first side that I did. Let's see here. I got this. It just painted on and sand it off. And normally you wouldn't have to do the plywood side, but I want to do it just to do it, I guess. That way we know that's going to be solid. It's going to be serviceable for many years. And this airplane's getting finished in a different way than I normally do too, where I normally finish the airplane after it's all together. But after watching a Windy video on him doing the take aparts, I think it might be kind of neat just to work on this and get it perfect, and then work on the elevators and stabilizer, get it perfect, work on the wing, get it perfect, and put them all together. And the only thing left to finish would be the fillet area and the trim. So we get it all the way to paint. One coat of white or whatever on it, a base coat, and get all the buggers out of it. It's either going to be really spectacular or a big turd. You have no idea. And you never know with what I'm going to come up with, because I'm building this vacuum chamber type thing. I didn't show this online because I haven't got to it. You guys are kind of bored of my part of the problem with doing carbon fiber is the volume in the vacuum chamber. I got 2 vacuum pumps down there. It doesn't suck it down quick enough. So what I did was I had some schedule 30, or maybe this is schedule 40. It's 30. 4-inch sewer pipe. And I went and bought some caps, and I'm going to build a rack for these to sit in. Now this is a vacuum sensor switch. So we're going to pull this down and pull a vacuum on these tanks, and the pump will cycle, and there'll be enough volume in here that I can pull the bag down real quick. So this is a project that I'll get to here shortly. I have so much other stuff to do. I will get to it, but I just don't know when. I might show that on camera. I don't know. But you notice I didn't skimp on that either. It's all brass. It's no galvanized crap. Well, I kind of looked at it. And I thought that it would look pretty good. You see these 2 lines here that I cut on the table saw to embed those carbon strips. I thought I would paint the whole airplane white, and then right here we'll tape this off. This will be a white top and white bottom, and then paint the wings red, because I do want to gold leaf the letters like I did on the Carumba, but they're going to be big, and gold leaf looks best on red. I think that's why my Monado won the concourse, is because of that gold leaf lettering on the red with the black outline. I mean, that really pops like a fire truck. Everybody likes fire trucks. So red and white with gold leaf, black highlights. I might do the leading edge in scallops, reds, make the back half of the airplane white, top and bottom white, and then the red stripe down there that'll lead right into the wing. And then off the wing, the red scallops with a black pinstripe like a GB, and then the gold leaf letter on there. It's gonna be complicated. but we'll see. Alrighty, I'll be back later, but give me about 4 hours. I'll put that on there and come back, and then we'll superfill. So till I see you then, fair winds, tight lines. See you. Matter of fact, let's take this off of here because we're gonna add back the intro and this one. Select. All right. I need to make some more of these intros or exit videos. Set. Now, I want to select. Why the heck did this thing set as outro? There we go. All right. We'll see you later. Fair winds, tight lines. See you.
Workshop, tools in hand, balsa wood, we make a stand, carving dreams from days gone by, stunt hanger planes that touch the sky, control lines tight, the engine hums, crafting art where passion drums, stunt hanger, flying high, old world craft beneath the sky.